The story of creation tells us of a race of beings known as the Ancients, created in the likeness of what was once the Ten. The Ten imbued all of their qualities into one race to have stewardship over all of creation. The power of the Ancients grew, and a rift divided the Ten in how to accommodate their new creation. 3 of the 10 separated from the others and began to teach the Ancients the secrets of the Essence. When the 7 learned of this, a great celestial battle ensued. Eons passed, and you watched as the fight continued through the celestial kingdom. Some say it was the fight that created the stars and heavens we see today. With every blow between the 10, a star was born. When the battle was complete, the others and the Ancients were banished by the 7 into the void. The 7 found the error of their ways and decided to split their qualities into 4 races instead of 1. And this is how the humans, elves, orcs, and dwarves came to be. You watch as the 7 created Vera and place each of the races within their respective locations. As the story came to an end, the dark figure at a distance grew closer to you, until all you could see was the darkness, and you wake up in a sweat after a nightmare. Stephen Sharif. Hi everyone, today I'm starting a new series called The Lore of Apocalypse, as revealed to us in Exodus, the first chapter in the Apocalypse story. But before we do that, we have to review what we already know. So let's get started. We know a little bit about the gods. We know one was the goddess of love, the god or goddess of creation, the goddess of fate, named Norlan, the god of hope, named Resna, and the god of truth, named Shal. Now after the 7 banished the 3 and the Ancients, everything seemed fine, until the world of Vera was besieged by a great calamity. A corruption befell the land, twisting and perverting every facet of nature, spawning hideous beings of every description. From troll-like creatures to towering behemoths, nothing escaped its touch. Granted by divine intervention, much of the population fled Vera through towering gateways, seeking refuge in a world void of magic, the world of Sanctus. Some unlucky citizens didn't make it through the gateways in time, and fell back to the planet to fight for survival. Soon after the Exodus, the gateways dimmed and became dormant. Centuries turned to millennia, burying them beneath myriad calamities. Over eons, history became legend, then even the great legends were at last forgotten. The Telnar evolved as a combination of the 4 parent races that were left behind on Vera. The world in ashes lay devoid of civilization for centuries. Until now. Initially, you're playing the Battle Royale, and you're part of the last group of survivors to try to leave Vera. And as you're leaving, you get cut off. The slipstream ends and you start falling back to the planet. Now, the activities that occur and the fighting amongst yourselves is a result of the influence of corruption, corrupting your soul, basically. And as we move into the castle siege mode, that's where you see the survivors now trying to seek refuge in some of the last defensible bastions of society. You're kind of fighting over those for your families and your friends to get into that keep, to try to ride out the storm, so to say. And that's what the castle siege is predicated on. Then moving into the horde mode, this is now the final showdown. How long can you last? And that's kind of the narrative behind Apocalypse as a whole. Summarized from Stephen Sharif. Now while everyone up above was fighting for the castles, the Talnar fled to the Underrealm. One of the aspects of the lore behind the Talnar was that in the pantheon of gods that exist, having foretold the future through the goddess of fate to the goddess of creation, these areas in the Underrealm were created to allow for the people that were left behind to take refuge. Summarized from Stephen Sharif. Meanwhile, the people that fled to Sanctus had to rediscover technology because so much of their current technology was based on magic. So they had to figure out how to interact with the world. Thousands and thousands of years went by. A long dark age passed. This history that I just told you falls into myth and legend. After this time passes, these portals reopen, and the players are going to take the part of people who are coming through these portals once again, back to the world of Vera to rediscover that magic, rediscover their history, and try to figure out what happened to the world to force them out of it. Summarized from Jeffrey Bard. And that's when the MMO begins. And that should catch us up on all the lore that we know from before. Next week we'll be exploring all the lore that we find in Ashes of Creation Apocalypse, the game. Don't worry, I have the regular path and the legendary path unlocked, so you won't miss a thing. So be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.